Hey guys, this is Miami Dolphins Movement, and today I'm going to be previewing the Dolphins versus Patriots Week 1 matchup. Just a quick question. I was wondering if you guys, prefer just the orange blank screen with the text as opposed to, some highlights in the background. The benefit to the orange screen is you can kind of just open some new tabs and check out some news, but highlights, you can probably watch the video. It's a little bit more entertaining. So yeah, just tell me that in the comments section, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the keys for the Dolphins offense today are to get the ball. You got to get the ball to your big playmakers, Reggie Bush, Davone, Bess, Brandon Marshall. And Brandon Marshall's a guy who can, stretch the field deep. He can really stretch out the Patriots offense, and he can open up some running lanes for Reggie Bush and Daniel Thomas, which I will get to later. So yeah, we got to get the ball to him, whether, deep, like we have seen in the past few preseason games against Tampa Bay. Just what we've seen, Chad Henne getting the ball to Brandon Marshall. That's really been kind of the talk of the preseason, and even during training camp, them kind of having and finding their, respective rhythms. Davone Bess is a guy that we can and I want to see us get him the ball on some, quick screens and things of that nature, because he's so good after the catch and he's so quick. And I think even if we're going to use him as a kind of a Wes Welker type player, line him up and have him get against, the outside linebackers and have him run over the middle of the field between the numbers, we can get the ball to him there, and he can also make yards after the catch, just like Brandon Marshall. Those are two guys that can get the ball. If you can get the ball to them in space, they can make big things happen, and that's what we need to do. I don't think we should really ask Chad Henne to get the ball and have to throw the ball 20 yards down the field every other play. Edmund Gates, I kind of want to see us get the ball deep to him. I think everyone wants to see us get the ball deep to him. The guy's a speedster. He's really fast. He can burn defensive backs if he is one-on-one. I think, there's no real risk in taking just a deep shot to him. In terms of what we need to do in the running game, I think we need to run the ball consistently, because over the preseason we have been really, back and forth with the running game. Week 1 versus Atlanta did not look really that good. Week 2 versus the Panthers, we looked, excellent. And then week 3 against Tampa Bay, we looked a little bit flat. And then week 4, we were kind of so-so. So we need to get the ball. And I'm not really talking about, the quick, 4-yard running plays. We need to hit big, 10, 15, 20-yard running plays and really gouge their defense for some big gains to open up some passing lanes for Chad Henne. And if we can do that, I think that the night for Chad Henne is going to be a little bit easier, because when we cannot run the football, Chad Henne, is a little bit more prone to throwing interceptions, and that's really true with every quarterback in the NFL. I want to see us get the ball to Anthony Fasano over the middle on the tight ends. I think he's a matchup that we can exploit and we can have some success with. Our offensive line's got to do a good job blocking for Henne. Our protection has to hold up, and if we can run the football, we will be alright in this game. Now let's move on to the defensive keys. The defense, we have to get pressure on Tom Brady, and I think that's a given whenever you play, a quarterback like Tom Brady. Doesn't really like to be rattled in terms of, pocket pressure, and you see it when he plays teams. Even in the Super Bowl a couple years back against the Giants, when he played the Giants, he faced so much pressure against them, he just could not get anything going. They scored 10 points. If you can hold an offense like that to 10 points by getting pressure on Tom Brady, that's what we need to do. Cameron Wake, Randy Starks, these guys need to step up. They need to put some rush on Tom Brady and maybe some, cornerback blitzes and things like that. I know Mike Nolan will do a good job with putting pressure on Tom Brady. Now, the thing that kind of concerns me is if we let the passing game with Tom Brady get a little bit out of hand, they are so good at stretching the field, then dumping it off to guys like Danny Woodhead and Wes Welker. Wes Welker can catch a 5-yard pass and turn it into a 22-yard gain. Danny Woodhead can do the exact same thing. We have to keep those guys in check. If we cannot keep those guys in check, it's going to be a very, very long night for our defense. Another thing is that if we do let stuff and screens like that happen, which, I mean, they will happen in the game, we just have to shut them down. When things like that happen and they're successful, the Patriots, just like a lot of passing teams do, is they like to run the shotgun draw. And that's kind of been effective for teams like the Colts and the Patriots. And the Patriots, especially with Danny Woodhead, who's a very, very quick and agile running back. He can do that very well, and he's very good at it. Pretty much what they'll do is they'll snap it, drop back to pass, and they'll give it right up the middle to Danny Woodhead. Well, all our linebackers will be back in coverage, and that's an easy 6 yards. And if, one of our linebackers misses a tackle, that's maybe 10 to 15 yards. So we have to watch out for that as a defense. We have to keep our eyes open for draws, quick screens, anything where they're getting the ball to quick guys like Wes Welker and Danny Woodhead. And those are really the two guys that are concerning me on the Patriots offense. As for, the coverage on our back end, the corners and the safeties, I'm not really worried about that. Sean Smith's side, I think, could be a little bit vulnerable. Brady could attack Sean Smith a little bit. Vontae Davis, I know we'll have Wes Welker if Wes Welker lines up outside, which he doesn't normally do. But I know Vontae Davis will have whoever he is covering on lockdown. I'm not too worried about that. And I hope Brady throws to Vontae Davis, because typically when Brady throws to Vontae Davis comes up big with the interceptions, the deflected balls, all things that Vontae Davis that we've seen him do. And really, he's developed into a very, very solid shutdown corner for us. I think that's pretty much it in terms of our defensive. So, yeah, let's move on to the conclusion. Now, normally, I do not like to predict scores. I don't like, the Super Bowl, yeah. But in terms of the Dolphins, I don't like to predict scores, because really in the NFL, games could go either way. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day. So, I think that the Dolphins are absolutely capable of winning this game. This is not a game that is out of reach for the Dolphins. We have beaten the Patriots. We have the formula for beating the New England Patriots, and that's pressure Brady, stop their offense, don't let them get the ball in open space. We cannot let them do that. And if our offense can generate big plays and at least somewhat keep up with the pace of the New England offense, we can't do what we did last time. We can't have Henne throw 2 picks. Our special teams can't collapse on us. If our offense can kind of keep up with the pace of New England, I think we'll be all right. If we're constantly turning the ball over, if we can't generate any run game, it's going to be a long night for the offense. Chad Henne's going to throw interceptions. We cannot, as good as Chad Henne has looked, I don't think we should let him be throwing 40 to 50 throws a game. We have to run the ball, and we have to generate big plays. We got to get the ball. Reggie Bush, got to get the ball to him. He can do a lot of good stuff with the football. So, yeah, we got to keep up with that pace. I think we can honestly run the New England offense. Get the ball to Davone Bess, get the ball to Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush can he can do some of the same stuff that Danny Woodhead can. And Davone Bess is, a Wes Welker type receiver. And we have Brandon Marshall to add to that. And then we have, Clyde Gates, who can stretch the field. So our offense has to be consistent. We have to keep up with the Patriots in terms of offense and let our defense make some stops so we can get ahead by, a score or 2 on them. And I think if we can get, a score up or 2 scores up on the Patriots, I think our defense is solid enough to hold them and keep that lead for us. And I'm not really saying that our offense needs to, score 35 points in this game, but we cannot score anything short of 20 points. If we cannot score at least 20 points in this game, we are going to lose, because, I think our defense is good enough to the point where we can stop Tom Brady, but we've seen them, last year, they just tore up our defense. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady clearly know what they're doing, and we need to combat that offense and have our offense be consistent as well. And I think both sides of the team have to play a very, very solid, mistake-free game for us to win this game, because the Patriots will eat you alive every mistake you have. And we've seen it before. We have seen what the Patriots do when the Dolphins make mistakes. You know, it's even special teams mistakes. They destroyed us last year. Special teams mistakes. We've seen them do it. We have to play a very, very clean, mistake-free game. You know, penalties, turnovers, all that stuff has to be avoided for us to win this game. And I think if we do win, it's gonna be a close game. You know, we've seen us beat the Patriots by 1 point. It's going to be a game like that if we are to win this game. In terms of us pulling out some kind of new crazy offense, I don't think that's going to happen. But like I said, I think we have the formula to beat the Patriots. We just have to use it properly. We have to execute properly. Get the ball, you know, big play guys. We need big plays. We need our defense to generate some turnovers. And I think we're going to win this game if we can do that. I think we have a very, very, very good chance of winning this game. So, yeah, just, you know, offensive, you know, we got to get some good offensive matchups. Reggie, davone, bess, those guys can create some really great matchups for us that we can exploit defensively, create turnovers, pressure Tom Brady. Make sure to look out for those inside draws with Danny Woodhead. I think if we can do that and not turn the ball over and avoid penalties, we will win this game. It'll be a close game, but I think we have a definite chance of winning this game. So yeah, that's it. This is Miami Dolphins Movement. Go Fins. And be sure, if you think I left out something, be sure to leave it in the comments below. I always appreciate feedback. And make sure you answer the question, you know, do you like the orange screen? I think it's got the benefits. You can open up, you know, new tabs. It's almost like a podcast type of thing, but if you want to see, you know, highlights in the background of the video, you know, be sure to tell me, and I can absolutely oblige to that. Alright, thanks. Comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. Go Fins.